Hai, berjumpa lagi kita di dalam channel ini. Oke, pada hari ini apa yang admin ingin kongsikan kepada Anda semua, pengikut-pengikut admin maupun yang baru melihat channel ini. Isu ini sangat-sangat menggemparkan, sangat-sangat panas, sangat-sangat terkenal di seluruh dunia. Jadi sebelum itu bantu admin minta tolong tekan butang subscribe, tekan juga pada butang lonceng supaya Anda semua tidak ketinggalan info-info penting yang akan admin sampaikan di dalam channel ini untuk Anda semua. Terima kasih.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Terima kasih rakan media yang ada, kepimpinan kementerian. Hari ini kebetulan program ini memang telah dirancang dengan lebih lama untuk mengkaji prestasi pelaksanaan RMK 12, Rancangan Malaysia ke-12. Jadi saya setakat ini hanya melihat secara kasar laporan prestasi, tapi pada hari ini kita ada wakil-wakil daripada seluruh agensi dan kementerian yang terlibat, termasuk juga penyertaan daripada Bank Dunia yang menjadi penganjur bersama untuk memberi peluang kepada kumpulan yang bertanggungjawab mengendalikan perancangan dan pemantauan rancangan Malaysia ke-12 supaya we take a stock where we are, terutamanya dalam keadaan kita menjangkakan cabaran ekonomi dunia lebih mencabar tahun depan, and certainly that will have a spillover effect to the country. One of the first tasks that I hope I can collaborate with the ministry and with our civil servants, also to work with other relevant ministries, are to simulate different scenarios given different economic outlook for next year and the year after, because my ministry is involved with long-term planning and long-term development, especially capacity and capability building kind of projects. Obviously, any further shock to the global economy will have its spillover effect to the country, and what we want to do, and hopefully it can equip the new government better in navigating this, is we want to see how different directions and different quantum of the shock produce different spillover effects to the country. So hopefully we'll be able to see if, for example, if global recession does take place, what will be the extent, for a certain extent, how it will affect us fiscally, how it will, not just a question of growth, but also in many other aspects as well. And that would allow us, hopefully, to assist other ministries, especially finance ministry, to be able to see how we can strike a balance navigating these 2 or 3 difficult years. Never mind the fact that we also have to be mindful of the very high expectation of the public, that this government has to deliver very quickly in matters that have immediate improvement to their livelihood. So, it's a multi-dimensional challenge. So I hope I can be given the space and time to be able to see how different scenarios can help us achieve all these multi-dimensional challenges in the next 1 or 2 months. Okay, so that's the dry one. I'm sure you guys are bored about that. You want to ask about other things. Any questions? Ada soalan? Ya.
dengan RMK ke-12 kan ada beberapa polisi berdasar putra yang dijalankan. Jadi kemudian YB terhadap polisi tersebut, dan lagi satu mengenai pelantikan timbalan Kementerian Mungkin dan Kementerian PM.
Pelantikan timbalan menteri, saya difahamkan semalam ialah ada perbincangan yang pendek saja. Proses itu akan berjalan minggu ini, dan proses itu adalah sama seperti yang juga kita gunakan untuk membentuk kabinet, iaitu ada beberapa peraturan tertentu dari segi berapa jumlah timbalan menteri daripada gabungan-gabungan tertentu, akan bergantung kepada jumlah sumbangan ahli-ahli parlimen dan masing-masing, dan Perdana Menteri akan menentukan portfolio yang dirasakan sesuai dan terpulang kepada gabungan-gabungan untuk mencalonkan nama-nama. Berdasarkan nama-nama itu, kemudian Perdana Menteri akan melihat kesesuaian kepakaran pengalaman dengan kementerian masing-masing sebelum dibawa untuk perkenan ke bawah duli Yang Maha Mulia Tuanku. So I think that process is this week, and most probably, it will take 1-2 weeks. I really can't answer, but the process has started. Mengenai program-program yang berkaitan dengan Bumi Putra, saya tak nampak bahawa ada perubahan drastik kepada apa-apa perubahan atau apa-apa perancangan yang telah dibuat secara keseluruhan untuk RMK ke-12. As I say in the meeting, selalunya plans are good. What we want to make sure is that the plans really achieve its goal and is carried out. We cannot repeat, some of the downside of economic planning, iaitu kadang-kadang yang menyediakan ni susah payah buat, but it doesn't get done because we got bogged down by other things, by the politics lah, by all this kan. Jadi saya tak nampak kita akan ada apa-apa yang begitu drastik. Of course, we will take time to go through one by one, to consult the stakeholders, the ministries dan sebagainya. But what I want to be to pay more attention, we want to make sure that it really delivers what it intended to. You want to make sure that every single RM1 when spent, if originally is intended to liberate so and so from poverty, be it whether you are Bumi Putra or not, it will actually deliver that. That's I think what I can contribute better. Of course, through the process, when we do midterm review, we take into account global challenges. There might be some modifications that we have to build in. There might be some constraint, there might be more opportunities. So it's a work in progress, and so long as we are agile in terms of incorporating the challenges, and we look at the implementations very closely and make sure that we adapt as appropriately, and I think then within the time span of RMK 12, hopefully we will be able to achieve most, if not all, of the objectives. So that's something that we will go through periodically. Yeah.
During your speech, you mentioned about the current revenue is not as diverse or categorized as others revenue. So is there a possibility that the revenue might include GST or other types of taxes?
It's not my place to say that because it's finance ministers. But of course, I'm sure our job here at the Economic Ministry is to provide possibilities, and as I said, scenarios, as well as some planning and some projections. The decision on how to strengthen our revenue, be it in terms of the revenue streams, how robust it is, how varied it is, will definitely have to be made collectively as a government. But I think it is also open knowledge that we cannot depend too much on, for example, natural resource related revenue, for example, or commodity related revenue. But I think it is something that is too early and also not in my place to comment on that. But I'm sure it is a subject that will become the focus. When I say the subject, I don't mean introduction of GST. I mean making sure that our revenue streams are more robust, especially given the challenges that we are facing. And as I mentioned in my speech, we hope to be a lot more creative and innovative, not just in terms of the makeup of the economy, but also, I suppose, in terms of how we approach all these so-called structural economic questions. How varied our revenue streams, everything. We hope to be able to see from different angles. So that's why I think tax or taxation alone may not be the only angle that we look for. Obviously, over the long term, you do want to vary your taxation streams so that it's more robust and it's less dependent on certain industry. But there is a process that cannot be decided or done abruptly within a few months that you take government. It does take some time, but it's our job to make sure that we provide enough scenarios for the cabinet to consider.